Hey guys, it's Celine, and this week I'll be discussing the discussion thread for week 3. On this week's discussion thread, I will be discussing Antioch City budget, general fund revenues and expenditures, job announcement for a position in Antioch, advertisement postings, identifying a job title, department, minimum job requirements, job duties, and pay scale, and identifying one thing from the book or lecture that I found interesting. So here are some highlights of my town. Antioch is known for the famous El Campanile Theater, our gorgeous hiking trails, murals downtown, and the marina. Before I talk about Antioch's budget, let me give you some brief history about my city. Antioch is one of the oldest towns in California. Ranch owner John Marsh bought and built a landing on the San Joaquin River in 1848. The former name of this property was known as Marsh Landing. However, it wasn't until 1850 when the Smith brothers founded a town west of Marsh Landing. A year after, the new town mayor convinced the residents to change the name of the town from Smith's Landing to Antioch. And in case you were wondering, my town is indeed named after the biblical city of Antioch. I guess you could say that Antioch is definitely a booming city during the 1850s. Coal was discovered in Antioch's hills, which is now known as a hiking trail called Black Diamond Mines. Antioch is definitely a quiet town. It's the kind of town that isn't exactly on the radar. A lot of older folks retire here because it is more affordable and still located outside of the bay. Antioch hasn't really received a lot of publicity except in 2009 during the news of the J.C. Dugard case. The city of Antioch has a population of 110,898 people. Typically, a budget covers all services and fees that run from July 1st to June 30th each fiscal year. In the budget, the funds are segregated by the type of fund as well as individually. This means that each individual fund has to be thoroughly inspected based upon the legal limit of money received upon use. The general fund is the main operating fund of the city. This usually funds most of the city's day-to-day services. For the 2017 and 2018 city budget, the total budgeted general fund revenue was $54,411,500, and the total budgeted expenditures were $56,705,500. In the general fund, taxes are the largest revenue source, about 72%, which specifically includes property and sales tax. For every property tax collected, the city receives about 10%, as well as collecting 1% for sales tax. For the total budgeted expenditures, about 69% are used for the city's personnel services, and about 31% remains for the other services, supplies, and transfers for other programs. In November 2013, Measure C was passed. This measure restored Antioch's service sales tax. The City Council directed 100% of the funds to enhance the police and code enforcement services. During this year, about $6,756,900 was projected to this fund, but the city only received $659,072. Measure D was passed in November 2014. This measure was a residential landlord business license tax. During this year, $2,200,000 was projected for this fund, but the city only received $564,942. The money that the city collects is used to supplement all of the general fund's operations. I found my job announcement on the city website. However, the city does advertise on many different sites as LinkedIn and Indeed. In my case, I could only find a detailed description of the job on the city's website. This job's title calls for an academy graduate/student. The department is for the police, and the pay scale starts at $45.43 to $55.22 hourly, but annually it starts at $94,500 and maximum at $114,864. For this job, these requirements must be met. The applicant must have graduated from high school or have an equivalent diploma and must have completed a post-approved academy at the time of appointment. They must have knowledge of basic law enforcement theory, principles, and practice their application to a wide variety of services and programs. They must know principles and techniques of traffic control. They must know basic interviewing methods and principles. They must know principles, practices, and safe work methods used in collecting, processing, logging, storing, and safeguarding evidence, property, and materials including hazardous materials. And they must also have a basic knowledge of self-defense principles and practices, and so on. The duties entail the following. The applicant will patrol an assigned area by car, motorcycle, or foot to observe, investigate, and report suspicious and hazardous conditions. They will apprehend and arrest law violators. They will respond to routine and emergency calls for protections of persons and property and for the enforcement of city ordinances and state laws. They will investigate crimes, accidents, death and disturbances, gather evidence, interview, question and take statements from complainants, suspects and witnesses, and complete case reports, and so on. I've never truly considered budgeting as a huge remark until reading and researching more in depth about it. To me, it was really interesting to read about how each city's budget is different and how the funds are collected. Another aspect that was fun was researching about Antioch's history. I had a lot of fun with this assignment. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you guys next week.